Hey folks, what's going on? Welcome to Coach Gav Live, episode 50. It's the big one, halfway to 100 episodes. So, this one's going to be a little longer than normal. I'm on the road to pick up my little girl from school, so we're going to maybe go for like 20-25 minutes on this one. And this is probably going to be the one you might want to rewatch and take notes on. And we're talking nutrition. And firstly, no, that's not a typo. That's not a typo in the box at the top. I've spelt it that way because realistically, we all know what we need to do. It's going to be of no surprise to anyone watching this that increasing your non-processed foods, so increasing your fresh foods, meats, veggies, water, are all right. Let's get a bit of structure here. If you're trying to lose weight, there is only one way ultimately to do it, and that's to have what we call a calorie deficit. That is a lot of smoke coming from that car. So that is to have a calorie deficit, okay? Now, a calorie deficit basically means we burn up or we use up more calories than we consume, than we eat, both on a daily and weekly basis, okay? So to do that, there's a couple of ways. Obviously, to increase how active you are. You're going to use your body more, you're going to be more active, you're going to start to burn up more calories. Perfectly good thing to do. You can also then make sure that you decrease or you modify how much you eat so that you're not taking in too many calories. You're not filling up with too much fuel. What is that noise? So they'll be the first two steps. Now, there's a couple of things here that we're going to talk about, and this is going to be a bit sporadic. Shock, another sporadic episode, okay? So, yeah, I should be able to get away with that. So, one of the things being is that, clears too much for the eyes. Like, the reason why any diet or any system or any approach or any weight loss group works is very simply that it's got a deficit. It puts you in a state where you consume less calories than you take in. Sure, Gav, you just said that's what I have to do to lose weight. Surely that's what I should do. Well, not really. Just because you're in a deficit doesn't mean that's the only thing you need to focus on doing, okay? We also need to make sure we're getting in enough of the right foods, enough of the right nutrients, okay? So your proteins, fats and carbs, more commonly referred to as macros, which is short for macronutrients. They're the big building blocks that our body needs to survive, grow, function, evolve, keep itself healthy. And I'm pretty sure all of those things are things that we all want to achieve. We all want to at least survive each day. We want to be as healthy as possible. We want to grow to our body's fullest potential. And obviously that doesn't mean like we're going to expand as big as a circus tent. Grow as in like be as strong as we can, as fit as we can, as healthy as we can. So proteins are basically found primarily in red meats, lean red meats, chicken, duck, turkey, poultry, game, eggs, fish, some peas, beans, lentils, chickpeas, and there is some other kind of vegetarian or vegan options as well. Protein is super, super important because it allows us to basically rebuild. Okay, so after we go and train, the proteins go in and the amino acids to go around the body and they help repair the muscle, they help the muscle to physically grow over time, and then it gives you the energy to come back tomorrow and to train properly. Now, the reason why you might be cripplingly sore after training is because you're not recovering as well as you can. There will obviously be some pain and some discomfort after training. That's fine, because we're pushing our body physically to be like, okay, let's move on here now, let's try and do a little bit more. So, but we don't need to be kind of suffering, as I said. There's a big, big difference between being sore and suffering. But, like, as I said at the start here again, none of this is going to be a surprise to you. Like, okay, limit the bad stuff I eat, limit my overall eating then as well, so that, you know, we're working within a range. And there's so much to this, and one series of videos will never really do it, because at the end of the day, it comes down to what works for you individually. I would need to know your weight, your goal, your general health. There's a few questions that kind of we go through with our members when we're checking their nutrition, and then we're advising them on what to do. Now, this video here isn't necessarily going to give you advice on what to do, because that really only works when I see you face to face, or when we start a direct conversation about it, because you'll be doing things that somebody else might not do, so the advice I would give them is the advice I wouldn't have to give to you, and vice versa. So we spoke about proteins, which are important, okay? Now we're going to talk about fats. Fats are found in real butter, coconut oil, extra virgin olive oil, in red meats, in eggs, in dairy produce, across the board like that. Now, if there was a famine, or there was an apocalypse, and we were rebuilding the world, we would need proteins, we would need fats, okay? There are essential amino acids and essential fatty acids. The very nature in the word essential, no, wait a minute. Sorry, the very fact that the word essential is paired with these foods should be enough of an indicator to be like, okay, I need to make sure I'm having them. I need to make sure I'm getting them into my system. And folks, I apologise about the glasses, just that there's an awful glare and my eyes are crap, so it's kind of important to see when I'm driving. So, we don't need carbs to survive, but they do serve a function. So carbs, or carbohydrates, are starchy foods, sugary foods, breads, pasta, crackers, rice, whole grain versions, non-whole grain versions, so refined foods, simple sugars. Alcohol goes into its own category separately. So the reason why, like if we go back to like the 50s, 60s, 70s, fat got a bad name because when the world started to get a bit of a health epidemic, they were like, well, hold on here, how are things going so horribly wrong? Fat, on a gram to gram basis, fat contains more calories than a protein or a carb source. So the thinking at the time, rightly or wrongly, was that, okay, well, you know, if we just eating foods high in fats, we therefore stop eating foods that are higher in calories, so, you know, problemo solvo. And again, not the worst logic in the world, but there's more to it than that. Again, like I said, essential fats, we need them in our system to do jobs. And that's what happens when we skip foods, or when we leave out foods. Oh, well, I don't eat veg, or I don't eat this. Well, you're missing out on vitamins and minerals that are all designed to help your body function, feel, perform, look its best it can, okay? So, and that's why a balanced diet is important, okay? So then carbohydrates, as I was saying, it's, you know, your breads, pastas, rice, cereals, crisps, chocolate, alcohol separate, sugary foods. The main issue with carbohydrates or carby-based foods is just that they're not as filling as others may be. So do you notice how you could have like 4 slices of toast and be like, geez, I'm still hungry? Or you could go to like a dozen, half dozen bickies, and you're just like, that went down really quickly. There's no satiety, or there's very little satiety with it, so there's very little satisfaction. You know, it doesn't fill us up. And that's why you may be hearing or seeing that there's a constant recommendation for a bit of protein, a bit of fats, some greens, with your meals. So you're getting a little bit of everything. So you're filling yourself up, you're staying within your calorie target, you're keeping a well-balanced diet, and you're not going over the top with any things as well. A few videos back, I was speaking about my drop in body fat and body composition lately, and I spoke about how I was still able to have pizza, chips, beer, Ben & Jerry's, chicken wings, all these lovely foods while still dropping weight. Now, of course, If I wasn't consuming those foods, or if I consumed them less frequently, less often, I would probably see further progress. But U2, not the band, obviously U2 can go and live that way too. You can go and have the foods you want. Like, so basically, if you take like 5 to 10% of your daily calorie allowance, your budget, and put it aside for foods that we would call, say, sociable foods, okay? Not cheat foods, okay? You're not cheating, okay? No one's having an affair on your nutrition, right? It's a food that, you know what, I like this food. I like Kinder Buenos, I like Galaxy bars, I like whatever it may be, a glass of wine. Or you can put aside that balance and say, I'm spending those calories, be they 100, 150, 200, whatever the number may be, okay? 5 to 10% of your daily intake, you're going to put aside on purpose to say, right, if I'm having a cup of tea and I fancy a few bickies, I can have them and then problem solved. Satisfy my sweet tooth and I don't go over the top with my calories for the day. Win, win, win. So, as we said earlier in the video, the main thing for dropping weight is a calorie deficit, okay? So burning more calories than you take in. Now, you still have a minimum requirement you need to take on board. You can't just have no food altogether and just be like, fuck this, I'm eating no food, because, you know, the less calories I eat, the more calories I burn. That's not how it works. Food is still fuel for the body. So you have a minimum target. You can undereat. And then your body's like, hold up, why aren't we getting fed here? When are we going to get fed? We're getting fed very irregularly here. We need to kind of protect ourselves and balance ourselves out here. So from that point of view then, like I said, there is a basic that you need to work out in as well. And these are all things that, again, I'm not doing them on the video. I'm not going to do them over a blog post or whatever, because they need to be done in person, so we can explain the different elements of what's going on. We can sit down and be like, okay, well, what's the best plan of attack for you? By and large, 65, 70, 75% of a nutrition plan or a nutrition approach is the same for everyone. If you're trying to gain weight, you got one set of kind of principles. If you're trying to lose weight, you got another set of principles. If you're trying to maintain your weight, you got another set of principles. And that's it. You know, you're making sure you're being consistent and you're sticking to it. Is there any bad foods? No, there's not. Overconsumption is the issue. It's not that potatoes are fucking everyone over, or you know, oh, kind of coffee's the killer, or any of this kind of stuff like that. You know, it's consistently over-consuming foods is what makes people overweight. Okay? So when you consistently consume correctly, you will drop and lose weight. I'm as close to 100% certain as I can say. None of us woke up, none of us went to bed last night being healthy, looking healthy, feeling healthy, and woke up this morning being like, holy shit, where did all this weight come from? How did I get so big? What's going on here? It was a gradual process over weeks and months and years. So when you're trying to take it off, it's going to be a gradual process. The bigger your goal, the longer it's going to take. So, like, if you're trying to drop a stone, like, I give yourself 12 weeks. Could you do it quicker? Yeah, of course you could. But what's the likelihood that you would keep that weight off, or that you've done it in a safe manner, or that you've actually enjoyed your life over those 12 weeks as well? Now, change has to occur. You can't live the same lifestyle and expect to see progress or expect to see changes. That's not how things work, folks, okay? A change needs to occur. So no one, like, again, I can't stress enough, none of this, maybe 1 out of every 30 people watching this video will be genuinely surprised to hear that a well-balanced diet consisting of meats, veggies, fruit, water, and well-balanced portions is the way to go. I'd be very surprised if anyone is surprised by that news. That's not groundbreaking, okay? I've not just invented that. That's been the way it always has been and the way it always will be. So, and the reason why this is quite an important topic is that a lot of people are telling me they feel lost, that they're hearing so much information. Well, this person is doing that. This weight loss group does it this way. That weight loss group does it another way. I saw on Instagram, ... I read on Facebook, ... My neighbour's milkman's best friend, she says she does this. Okay? All these detox teas, bullshit, don't need them. All these juice diets, these juice cleanses, bullshit, don't need them. All these magic fat burning pills, bullshit, don't need them. Okay? All this, you know, kind of low carb, high carb, you know, all this excessively over the top, you know, all these excessively over the top approaches for the vast majority of the general public, bullshit. You don't need to do it. You need to start off and make sure you're getting enough of the right foods in. Just start, and then as time goes on, if you decide to go compete bodybuilding on stage, yeah, sure, go for it. Then you might have to start doing low carb, high carb, whatever the fuck they do, okay? But I'm talking to the general public here, the everyday person, the guy, the girl, the mom, the dad, that just want to live a healthier life, drop a couple of kilos, look a bit better, come down 1 or 2 sizes in your clothes, come down and stay down. How many of you are constantly yo-yoing up and down and up and down? And it's because you go in and you do these extreme approaches, go, oh well, when I used to go back to, you know, insert name of weight loss group, when I used to go back to this group, oh, the weight would fall off me. Yeah, because you're in such a fucking deficit, your body has nothing else to do but for the weight to fall off. And you go at it for a few weeks, and then you stop, and then the weight comes back on. Consistency is key here. And the way I believe that is the right way to do it is that you teach people how to be self-sufficient. You teach people how to put in the work for 6, 12 weeks, really drilling their habits, really focusing on what actually is important, and then being able to go right. Like, my goal is that if I died tomorrow, that my members would still be able to progress forward fairly decently by themselves with their training and nutrition. They would have a good idea that, okay, a good training program involves A, B, C, D. A good nutrition plan involves X, Y, Z, F. Okay? That is the goal. It's not a case of, hey, this plan's going to work for you when you keep spending 40, 50, 60, 70 plus euro on all these, like, these fancy bars that are actually made of complete and utter bullshit and cardboard. Ooh, look at all the wrapping paper, so pretty. I'm going to sell you these bars, you're going to keep coming back to my meetings, I'm going to make money off you because you're at my meeting, because you're buying my bars, so I'm double dipping, okay? Or, hey, here's these pills, and they block your carbohydrate consumption. That's absolute bullshit, okay? And I could sit here for another couple of hours, and realistically I could go on for weeks. All these different elements of nutrition, all these different things that are important and that people can claim and say, and all these different things. But at the end of the day, there's only a handful of things that will ever actually matter. 1, go and try it for yourself. Okay? Put the advice you're hearing into use. See what works, see what doesn't work. And it's a case of, like, there's 7 in my family. What works for me and my lifestyle and my goals will differ from what works for the other members of my family based on their goals and things like that then as well. So that's where so many of us go wrong. I'm going to do plan A because my neighbour's doing plan A and it's working for her. Just because it's working for her does not mean it's going to work for you. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. It might work a little bit. It might work for a little while. But it doesn't mean, like, you're probably not going to reap the ultimate results. Hickam, hey, what's going on? Do that. How's things? So, like, I mean, like, no matter what goes on, you're trying to put on weight, you know, you're trying to improve your sports performance. Like, just write down what you're eating for 3-4 days. Genuinely, write down every single thing you eat and drink for 3-4 days of a week, and have a look. See what are you constantly doing. Are you over consuming carbohydrates? Too much bread, too much pasta, too much rice, too much potatoes, too much sweet potatoes, too much crisp, too much chocolate, too much alcohol, too much sugar. Are you not having enough protein? Are you under consuming proteins? Are you under consuming foods? Are you not having enough veggies? Are you not having enough balance? Are you eating too much food overall? So notice there, right? None of the issues or none of the things were, you know, this one thing. Are you eating this? Oh, well, that food's going to fuck you up. Too much of anything is going to cause you a problem. Because basically, imagine like you have a cup. So, right, let's say this cup is my intake. Shout out to Insomnia if anyone's watching. Okay? So, if I overfill this cup, it's going to spill everywhere. So I need to make sure I get the right mix. Some of it's going to be coffee, some of it's going to be water, some of it's going to be milk, okay? But whatever mixture I put in, that's the limit. That's as much as I'm getting, okay? So, like, if I go over, if I spill it over, I spill it over. It doesn't matter if I overspill it because of coffee or water or milk or whatever, okay? So, for me to not go over, you got to kind of limit how much you're putting in, all right? So, same with your body. If you're putting in too much, you're going to have a problem, you know? But we're not going to spill over. What's going to happen is that we're going to store it, we're not going to burn it off, and that just becomes an issue. So, you know, he's definitely going to hit the curb. Oh, yeah, there he goes. So, your nutrition plan needs to be smart. It needs to be logical. It needs to be something you can implement. It needs to be something you can do. And something you can do consistently and regularly. And that's where any member or any client of mine has ever gotten, like, any result is with the consistency. Okay, it's how my weight's down. It's how we've had girls lose short. We've had 2 girls lose just shy of 4 stone over the course of the last year. It's just because there's consistency with it. They're consistently and sticking at it. Consistency is not sexy. You're not going to see a lot of people on Instagram blogging about, you know, well, I'm so consistent. Okay, but that's the way it is. It's that straightforward. None of this is in any way new. None of this is in any way shocking or groundbreaking, you know. And you can sit there and spin all the bullshit excuses you want. If you don't like how veggies taste, guess what? Blend them down into a smoothie, put in a bit of fruit, and just drink the fuckers. Oh, I'm too short on time. Prepare your food in advance. Sit down, look at where you're spending all your time. You know, prepare your food or cook your food when you're watching TV instead of just sitting on your ass and doing sweet fuck all. I have seen, I have heard, I have answered, I have lived every fucking excuse out there. And it's only an excuse because it allows you to live this comfortable little lie where you're like, oh, this is great, I'm going to live this way, and I'm not really going to push myself or challenge myself too much because that's too hard, I'm too fucking lazy. And that's all it is. And that's why weight loss groups work, because there's strength in numbers. Because when you go to that meeting, you might be like, okay, well, I'm out of shape, or I'm unhappy, or I'm unhealthy. But that guy or girl over there, they're way worse than me. So I feel better because, I feel better because I'm not the most unfit person here. And that might sting a little to hear, and that might seem a little harsh, but it's not fucking harsh at all. That is the absolute truth. That is one of the primary reasons why they work. There's strength in numbers. Yeah, there's a community. It's all like-minded people then as well. So, but any training facility you go to, KSF, Niall and the guys in the academy, Paddy and the guys in industrial, Morgan over in Evolve, they're all facilities full of like-minded people. So that's why we all work well. That's why we all get results. That's why we all succeed, because it's like-minded people being around other like-minded people day in and day out, working consistently, keeping each other accountable and responsible. And that's all it is. So you don't actually need more information on what food is this or what food is that. You know, drinking, you know, I mean, oh, I'm going to drink this tea. I'm going to stop. Just fucking stop. Stop wasting your fucking money. And just because a celebrity or a sports person or it's really well marketed, or the guy behind the counter like sells you a really good story on it, doesn't fucking mean like they're probably lying to you. Especially if Ronaldo not using Herbalife. Let me tell you that for a fucking fact, okay? And he absolutely did not get in that shape by using those products. Not in a million fucking years, okay? The only way is, again, and I'll finish on this, a well-balanced intake. You know, protein, fats, carbs, veggies, water, okay? Work on your sleep, all right? Work on your stress management. Oh, but that's not sexy. It's way sexier. It's way easier just to, like, fucking drink these powders or take these tablets or whatever. So we will, as time goes on, we'll do more kind of structured videos, kind of breaking down different elements, giving you the tools on how to go and do it, okay? And, there's a tiger or a dinosaur parking cars. Sorry, I'm over in Junction 14 now, just seeing all the cars parking in front of me. So we will do more structured videos as time goes on. We're going to piece them together, do them, and maybe put up some PDFs with them as well. All right, folks, take it easy. God bless. I'll talk to you in episode 51.